Okay, so SuperCar Blondie is trying to be like Doug DeMuro, and she started her own auction site. Did you even know it existed? I don't, and I make a show about car auctions. Oh, and by the way, she tried to sell a Testarossa. Let's see how that went. Bit Nerds is your daily YouTube card game show, where we predict the online auction results of the most interesting cars on Bring a Trailer, Cars and Bids, Hagerty Marketplace, and more. It's just like the Price is Right game show. Play along and see if you can beat the nerds.
All right, JP. Randy Bloom from the Spud Syndicate, much to my chagrin, selected a car for us on a brand new auction platform that is owned and operated by none other than SuperCar Blondie. It is the SuperCar Blondie Cars site, which is her auction site. Her and her husband, who are based out of the United Arab Emirates, have started an auction site. She's from Australia originally, but they are probably living in the UAE or Dubai or wherever she's from, or wherever she's living, probably to pay no taxes. But Randy thought it'd be time for us to cover a car on her site, and he wanted us to look at this 1988 Ferrari Testarossa on a platform that really just went live just a few weeks ago. Our particular car is listed out of, oh my God, now I forgot, something Connecticut, one of those places in Connecticut, Bridgeport, I think. JP, look at the photos and tell me that backdrop doesn't look exactly like the backdrop for that BMW Z8 that we covered on Sotheby's Marketplace. As I looked at the inventory of live auctions for SuperCar Blondie, there is another car on her site that is live. It is a Ferrari 458, and it has the exact same backdrop for the photography, leading me to believe that there is a new player in the game that is trying to push his exotic cars onto these new platforms. So good luck to him. Again, we have another almost good. I mean, like at a glance, the pictures look sexy, but they don't wind up being great photography. Our particular car, John, is showing, oh, where did it go? I have a hard time reading this site. 33,000 miles from Black Horse Garage, 88 Testarossa, red tan. The thing that I think is going to hurt this car, because Testarossas are having a moment, at least from last summer to this, they've been stronger than they've been over the last decade. But not having the stock wheels, JP, I think for the Ferrari crowd, that's a problem. If the stock wheels are included and I missed it in the photos, then I apologize. But if they're not, then I think leaving those wheels on and not going and tracking down the correct stock rims for this car is going to prevent you from reaching a retail number, no matter who's selling it and no matter what platform you're on. So to tell Randy a very quick story, when COVID hit, I took a job with Stratus Auctions. It was owned by Lance Butler. Stratus did not make it. They were up and down in less than a year. But Lance was partnering with SuperCar Blondie to run the operations for the United States for the platform here. And so much to my chagrin, I did not want to cover a car on SBX Cars because of that, because I'm a guy and that's what we do. We're still in high school. But as I looked at this car and went back to the platform has been live for probably just 2 months, JP. Lance is no longer with the company, which I thought was really interesting. I have no explanation for that, but other than to say that as I looked, the two people that Lance brought to the company, people that were coworkers of mine at Stratus, they are still there. A couple of great people. Shout out to Paul and Verity. But Lance is no longer with the company. So there you go. Anyways, JP, new platform. As you pull it up and we page through the photos and you look at the platform, do you like the platform? What do you know, or what do you think about SuperCar Blondie? And do you think they have a chance? And then what do you think of this Testarossa and its aftermarket wheels? And to Sarah, how many times in the last 10 years has somebody walked up to you and asked you for an autograph as SuperCar Blonde? Which was meant to be an insult. You are way hotter than she is.
Oh, it's okay. I always have to give credit where it's due. And so the fact that she is diversifying, going into selling cars, I really don't blame the girl.
Right.
My opinion of her is that she reads a script and she memorizes it. And what did she really know about cars getting into it? Maybe she was a car girl. Maybe I don't really know the originality of her story. It's funny. I don't know that I really get confused for her. Now, Lara, the Porsche girl, she and I get confused a lot, which is kind of funny. So she has
in the same market.
She's being vice versa. But yeah, I mean, it's so okay. So she's in the UK, and then she's got a platform that's going to be selling in the United States. To me, that's kind of a
Global.
mismatch. But
they're global.
You know.
They're doing cars all over the world, and so half of her inventory is in the Middle East and Europe, and then a few of the cars in the United States. So it's very interesting. She gets millions of views, but how do you convert those to buyers internationally? And so I just think she's biting off a lot to chew.
To me,
but on the other hand, I mean, if she's gonna, I want to say pimp it out on all of her podcasts, I mean that it's so this would be the preference. Is she sponsored by all of the people that or the companies that she is doing the reviews for, and does she have the time slot within her podcast to start, talking about the new market that she's creating, selling these cars? Because if she does, then she can get a lot of eyes really quickly. So yeah, it's gonna, every new platform is gonna take a little bit. It's just gonna start to become such a competitive marketplace, and so what do I want to say? There's gonna be too many auction houses, and not all of them are gonna be able to do as well, because you can't look at 20 different sites all the time.
Want to bet? No. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Sarah's, you're right. I mean, like I was saying about Hagerty Marketplace earlier, Hagerty has the ability to reach an audience because they already have 1.8 million people that they are covering when it comes to insurance policies. So they can just send out emailers. Doug DeMuro basically leveraged his YouTube channel to make a very successful auction site. But look, he's number 2 in this world. You've got BAT that sells 100 cars a day, and then the number 2 site is not even close. They are a distant number 2. They don't even sell 20% of the amount of cars that BAT. They don't. It's not like BAT sells 100 a day and Cars and Bid sells 80 or 85 or something like that. It's like, no, they sell like a dozen or maybe 20 a day. So that gap is massive. So the people that are competing right now, all these new entries to these markets, whether it's Hagerty or Somo or now SuperCar Blondie, that I didn't even know this existed until about 5 minutes ago on my own damn show. They're all competing for the bottom. No one's competing for the top.
They're late to the game. Sorry.
It's true, but Sarah, you're right, is that at least like Hagerty and like Doug DeMuro, she has a mechanism to reach an audience. The question is the bottom enough to go around for all the bottom feeders? There's the reason why Radwood for sale didn't make it. Because they didn't have the mechanism to reach an audience like these other guys do. There's a reason why Shiftgate? That didn't make it. There's a reason why the one that you were talking about, that Stratus, Michael Deep, those didn't make it because they had no ability to reach a larger audience without straight up paying for it. And PCAR Market tried and is still hanging in there, but come on, they're PCAR Market, and they don't even sell as many cars as Cars and Bids does. So all these newcomers, I don't know, man. I think SuperCar Blondie, if she leans into her Middle East thing, I mean, if it's just like, I think she should just say, look, cars in Dubai and Switzerland and South America. That's it. Or not South America, but South Africa. If she had those 3 markets, she'd probably do pretty well. But trying to break into the American market, and then this specific seller, they failed to sell that BMW Z8 was on Somo, right? So here they're trying another kind of half-ass auction site. It's like, guys, just go to BAT. What are you doing? You have this amazing inventory. You're taking pretty darn good photos. You're representing these cars well enough that you should be a player on BAT. Your cars, since they're I haven't seen them sell anything that wasn't pretty awesome. They do really well on BAT. When it comes to this particular car and the wheels, the wheels are going to hurt it, even though, frankly, I kind of like these wheels on the car. I think they look better than the stock ones. If I were to own it, I'd be good with it. But it's not like a 911 that would be really hard to swap. A 911, it's really easy to swap wheels out on a Porsche, but not so much on a Ferrari, so you're kind of stuck with us. Anyways, it just seems weird that this particular dealer, with the kind of inventory that they have, is screwing around with the B list or the D list, as it were. Just go right to the top, guys. It's not like they're going to say no. BAT will carry your cars. Did we get the numbers? Oh yeah.
Selling is if SuperCar Blondie did the tour of it because people like to watch her. So she was actively participating on the cars going up on her listings. That's where she would really start to turn that market around and get a lot of eyes following her.
Yeah, I mean, and we see that with Doug too, because a lot of times when Doug does a video on a car that is going to be on the platform, those cars get a lot more visibility. The question is, how many videos about cars on the platform can SuperCar Blondie do? It's one thing, you have to, if you're going to do a video on a car, you got to be there. And if SuperCar Blondie is, hanging out with her apartheid friends in South Africa or something like that, is she gonna, how many, princes from the Middle East are gonna fly her to Connecticut, to go hang out and do a video on this Ferrari? I mean, that's gonna cost thousands of dollars. So you could do that on 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 or 4, heck, maybe even 5 cars a week. That's a full-time job. And if you're going to try to make a platform work with 5 cars a week, that ain't going to cut it. So she's got to have some kind of mechanism to be able to get the eyeballs on the individual cars at some kind of scalable, number that makes the platform be viable. And I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I hope I'm wrong. Deeb, what's this particular car going to bring? We kind of forgot that we're talking about a Ferrari.
Right. So, JP, a lot of the value in these cars is dependent on the most recent service. A major service was performed in spring of 2024 with over $37,000 in receipts. The car has been upgraded from its metric size wheels to these 18-inch center lock wheels with Michelin tires. The car was also treated to an aftermarket Modena Engineering limited slip differential. All those things I'm sure would make the car drive better, but I don't know if they improve the value. The service will help. JP, this should be $140,000. This car, the value of this car, maybe a few dollars less for having the aftermarket wheels. And again, I didn't read enough of this to see if they're included in the sale. There were certainly no photos of the 16-inch rims or the metric size wheels that are supposed to come with it. But with one day to close, our car is sitting at exactly $100,000 on just 7 bids. This is a brand new platform. It's one of just a handful of cars in the United States. And although she's gotten some good press for starting the auction platform, I have no idea how many United States converted registered buyers she has for a car like this. So, John, while I think this should be $140,000, maybe $135,000 car, my bid for her is going to be $118,000. And I think the car will fail to sell at that number. Randy, I'd like to know where your bid is at on this since you picked this damn thing. But JP, where are you at on this car with the upgrades and the service?
115 failed to sell. This auction, or not this auction, but this particular dealer needs to ish or get off the pot and start selling their cars on a real platform. Stop playing with the D list. SuperCar Blondie is not going to get this car done. I do think, though, one thing that could prove me wrong is that, I mean, it is a Ferrari Testarossa, and they're very hot. And so someone who's looking for one of these is probably scouring the internet and trying to find one. And so how good is her just her regular old SEO game? I mean, if you're someone who's looking for a Ferrari like this and you're looking on all the auction sites, we do a twice a week show about auction sites, and I just found out that this site exists. So I don't know. Sarah, what do you think this car is going to bring?
Yeah.
I'm going to come in. It's going to close at 112, and it's not going to meet reserve. That's
oh, wow. There we go. Lots of bids, JP, all over the place. Randy B's going 120. Anthony Vera at 125. Buddha at 122.5. Michael S. at 110. Let's see, Carbine's at 115, but he said that he thinks this car was listed at 145, which is kind of in the market that I was saying I think this car should be worth. There you go. That's the bids. That's the range. Scott Dickerson at 118.5. I see you, Scott. And then there was one high bid here. Nate N at $127,599. I see you, Nate. So, and Indy Dave, 107. Gerd at 127. So that's everybody, I think. There you go. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, boy. A lot of people in the comments are talking about, I mean, Doug DeMuro rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but he's a big dork, and he's kind of even though Doug DeMuro, he just seems lovable, right? He's just a big goofy guy, and as much as I find his videos absurdly annoying, I don't dislike him. I just think he's a goofball. Okay, that's fine. You're a goofball. I'm kind of a goofball. But SuperCar Blondie, man, she just people are like, she's the greatest, or I hate that beep. It's like there's no in between. What's that?
Very polarizing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Did Sarah say SuperCar Blonde was bipolar? Did I hear that? Wow, she's flinging mud.
Is SuperCar Blondie actually have buyers watching her, or does she just have little lust boys watching her?
That's the question, and I think it's the latter, Sarah. I think she's gonna, despite having millions of followers and hundreds of thousands of views and clicks, I do not think a strong percentage of her audience are actually the people who can afford to buy the cars that she likes to go and ingratiate herself with the owners of, Yeah. So I think it's a very steep climb for her to convert all of those amazing clicks that she gets into registered actual buyers, because the people, let's face it, the people that can afford Koenigsegg's and one of 4 Lamborghinis and the weird stuff that she's like super into, those guys are all buying cars at live auctions with Sotheby's around the world and Broad Arrow Group and Gooding and all that stuff. I don't think they're buying it off the YouTube influencers' new auction platform, despite having offices in Dubai. I don't think it impresses them at all. I don't. It doesn't impress me.
She does not seem like a serious person. She just seems like she's found a niche, and whereas Doug is a car guy. He's a dork like one of us. He is the original nerd. So, yeah, there it is. What do you guys think? Do you think SuperCar Blondie can get this car sold on her new platform that no one knows exists? Or is it going to be SuperCar Bust Blondie? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Hey guys, I got to tell you about our friends Godden Porsche of Las Vegas and Godden Classic. If you're looking for a new Porsche or a classic, you got to call our friend Steve at Godden, this guy.
1989 linen gray metallic G50 cab.
Is that going to be for sale?
It is going to be for sale. The car only has 65,000 miles.
Save yourself the hassle of screwing around with all the auctions like we always talk about, and just talk to Steve. He'll find you the classic Porsche you're looking for. Godden Porsche of Las Vegas. Hey guys, you're probably looking at your watch and wondering if Bid Nerds will ever end. So you better talk to our friends at Our Smiths to make sure your Rolex, Tag Heuer, AP, or any fine timepiece is in tip-top shape. Our Smiths, fine Swiss repair.
Several days later.
Randy's dragging me this week. So Randy pick a car, a 1988 Ferrari Testarossa with like 30-something thousand miles on SuperCar Blondie's cars auction website. Her and her husband claim to be based out of like Dubai, even though she's clearly Australian. And they have an office in LA that was headed up by a guy that I worked with at Stratus. He's no longer with the company, but 2 of my coworkers are still down there, and they're hanging in there. But this is a new platform, JP. We looked at this car, and I swear this is the same seller that did that Z8 that Anthony Vieira picked that was on Sotheby's Motorsports that we covered just last week. But anyway, we wondered what this car would do. I didn't think the photos were that great. I didn't like the aftermarket wheels, despite $37,000 in service and maintenance and timing belts and all the stuff that goes into keeping a Testarossa roadworthy. I thought $118,000 would be the hammer, and I didn't think it would sell at that price because Testarossas are having kind of a moment, to be honest. JP, you took the under at 115, and Sarah Dackerman took the under you. Positive Sarah went 112. So, Ingo, we'll put you on the spot. It's a Ferrari. It's got aftermarket wheels, and I think there was something else, JP. I think they did like an aftermarket limited slip differential. But this is SuperCar Blondie's new auction platform. I'm not even sure if you were aware of this. Had you heard of the platform, and what do you think this car hammered for?
I was aware of the platform, and the interesting thing about that platform is they are supposed to be ultra premium, right? She is just going for, it was supposed to be $500,000 and up, right? So this is kind of a pedestrian car for SBX,
Yeah.
I would think. And I just don't know what kind of audience. I mean, obviously it's tough. Brand new auction site, as all these other ones that are out there now trying to get in and take some of Bring a Trailer's pie. They're finding it's difficult to get the audience, right? So I would have not been optimistic that this would have sold. I think this would have not made it. Testarossas are interesting because they were way down in the doldrums, but they've shot right back up. You know, do I even give a number if I say it? I bet you what I'm going to bet you is it just didn't sell. So
So give us a number.
Let's say, okay, I'm going to say Sarah said 112. I'll say 114.
114. And did that feel like a waste of time to you? Giving me that number? Be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
What?
Because
no, are you kidding? Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Because when a car fails to sell on her auction site, they don't publish final bid results. So unless you watched the actual close of the auction, you have no idea what the high bid would have wound up being. So Randy picked it for us, and then Randy and I were texting. We're going, hey man, I can't find the results. So then I created an account so that I thought maybe if you create an account, you'll get privileged information. Still no results are shared. So that was the day it closed. A day or two later, this car allegedly sold privately post-hammer. So now they have an addendum that says the car is sold. This auction was sold privately after it finished on June the 20th. So that just populated, I think, over the weekend. I'm only noticing as we're bringing the listing back up. But JP, I don't know if we have a button for the sound of a toilet flushing, but you can flush. You can flush this listing and this auction platform. I just, how are you like? You're going for this ultra premium client base, but you need your audience that you've accumulated with your shows and your social media to keep the engagement going. If you can't share information with your engaged viewers, I don't think people will continue to click onto you. And you have an uphill climb to begin with. Why are you making it worse? So JP, I know you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I hand it over to you. This is a mess. Randy, thank you for bringing our attention to it, because of some of the ones that have come and gone. This is hard to imagine that these guys are going to succeed if this is their attitude and their culture.
Well, Anthony summed it up pretty well. It's the simp marketplace. This thing also dead on arrival. She's just, come on, what are we doing? Why are you wasting every time? Well, the only people that are happy about this are the boys in Oyster Bay. They're like, finally, the guys at P-Card Market are so happy. We're not the worst auction site on the planet anymore. Oh my God, this is great.
God.
So they're high-fiving over there going, we're not number 0. They suck. But SBX... the big question, we shouldn't be making predictions on what the results of their auctions will be. The prediction we need to make is how many months will they hang on until they go away?
Yeah.
For real. What do you guys give them? Do you think how many months till they're gone?
So let's say they started 2 months ago, right? So we're
from
June.
now. How many months from now will until
So they've been 2 months, and I feel like their run could be a year. So I'm going spring next year. That's I'll give them 10 more months, JP. What do you think?
They'll hang on for 10 months? All right, remember guys, we're making predictions. So if you're in the nerd herd, how many months do you guys think? Ingo, we'll give it to you. What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be selling cars on their site in 2 years or 10 years. I don't know. No, this is tough. Anybody going into the online auction world is very difficult right now, and trying to appeal to a worldwide high-end audience, doing this is tough, man. I gotta say, I don't think it's got a great chance. Well, it could always change and get better, and maybe it'll do well, but I'm guessing, okay, let's just say 8 months from now. We'll see where they are.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah. I'll split the difference at 7.
Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that they just dump out before the end of the year. I think that's good because it's like, all right, that'll be the last quarter. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. How long will SBX be around? Can SuperCar Blondie make this thing happen? She's not leveraging the audience that she has to let people know that this auction site exists. I didn't even know it existed until Dee brought this thing up, and I haven't heard of anyone else that. But Randy brought it up. for our show. I didn't even know until we started the damn episode. I'm like, SBX, what is that? I'm looking at the spreadsheet. So I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was like a Sotheby's thing that I barely heard of. All right. Let us know in the comments below. Yeah.
Michael S says 12 months. Tom says 9. Philip says I'll go with 6. Kevin Boatman says 3 months. And Scott Derrickson, you're being too political. He said 6 to 9 months. Anyways, there you go. Yeah. Let's see. Randy says I take full blame.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this clip of the Bid Nerds podcast. Play along with us live every Sunday and Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. on YouTube. And see if your bids stack up to the rest of the nerd herd in the chat live. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Nerd! Get those nerds!